Okay, first thing you need to do is each of these groups we need, in order to animate everything separately, it needs to be on separate layers. So at the moment these are all groups within the same layer. So what you do, just fit this out, what you can do is you can right click, just select the layer, then just go into here, release to layers sequence, and now they're all separate layers. You should just be able to get them and drag them outside, and now they are individual layers. This layer 1 was the first one, so we don't need this one anymore, so we can just bin that one. So now they're all in separate layers. Now you should be able to bring these into After Effects much more easily, so that you can animate everything individually. So you can do those individually. Okay. So now we've got it set up like this. It would be better if I'd named these layers, but they're not. So that's the end of that. So launch After Effects. Before I do anything else as well, of course, I'm just going to save as, and I'll save it as adina3 illustration 1. Okay, and it's just going to be, yeah, it'll be in this folder. Okay, so it's an Illustrator file. That's what I want. Save. This is fine. Illustrator. Okay. Then what we need is After Effects, and let's close this down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to import a file, and that file is going to be in my downloads, flower work to be animated, Adina illustration 1. Now, footage is not what I want. What I want is something that says composition, retain layer sizes. So I'm going to go for this one and open. Now, if you open this up, you can see here are all of my layers, your layers. Okay. And if you double click this, you see there they all are. Here's my illustration, your illustration. So I'll keep making that mistake. But this is why you can see it would have been better if I'd named them, because we don't really know which one's which. So I'll just show you. If we'd have renamed them, they would have come in. So I'll call this red flower. I'll call this one here, I'll call it dragonfly. I assume it is dragonfly. Whoops, I didn't mean to double click it. Just right click, rename dragonfly. Okay, and so on. But the point about this is now that I've got control over each of these bits. I've got control over this, so I could animate this coming in, and you could put sound on, and because these are very stylized, beautiful illustrations, the animation can be very stylized and simple too. But you could have multiple things, and you could have these things here just slightly sort of rotating and swaying. One little trick just to show you. Just move this up. If you wanted this to just sway, you might think, okay, so I just want to rotate it. So R for rotate, and just sway it. But you'll see it's rotating around this point here. So just undo it. Now, if you just hit the letter Y, not Command Y or anything, just Y, you can then move this to there. Then just come out, hit Escape, and just hit this and go R again. And now you should be able to rotate it around that. So you could have this just very, very faintly moving. You could have all of these things slightly moving. There's also another tool. Let's just get this, which is, I'm going to say it's a pair. Apologies if it's not a pair. Again, I keep double clicking because I'm thinking of other software. If you just right click, rename, and call it pair. There's a tool here which is called the Puppet Position Pin Tool. very long-winded, but if we look here, I'll just move this up. We've got the pair. Let's move this up. Now, this thing here, if I just put a pin there, and I put a pin there, and a pin there, I can then add one there, and let's just put one sort of there, and one there. Now, if you get the move tool, these are all independently movable. And what's happening is, if you look here, I did a bit of moving, so I've just moved everything over a little bit. If you go to the pair layer and open it up, you'll see there's effects, and then there's puppet. If you open that up, it says mesh. There's a mesh being drawn over this. So if you open this one up, and what you'll see is deform. There are your pins, and you'll see that there are keyframes for them all. Just keep opening it up. Eventually you'll see there's a keyframe. So it's already put the keyframe in. So if we just move to here, and we just move these a tiny little bit, just a tiny bit. Okay, what you've got now is you've got it just moving a little bit. Now, what you can then do is you could just go, do you know what, I want all of these, so let's just get all of those. It looks like I actually need to open them up, which is unfortunate. But if we just move this, we don't need to see that so much anymore. But if you just select all of those, and you just went copy, and moved this to here, I went paste, and paste, and paste, and paste, and paste. Then you got all of the second lot, and went copy, and paste. We'll even put one in there, and paste, and paste, and paste, and paste. And I'll just go back to the standard layout. And now if you just play this, you've just got that little bit of movement going on. Okay, which I think is really nice. Next thing to do is animate the dragonfly coming in. Okay, let's hope I can remember how to do this. I'm going to click off, got nothing selected. Then I'm going to get the pen tool, and I'm going to set the fill by clicking on the word fill and setting it to no fill. And a white stroke is fine. So I want the dragonfly to come in like this, and then down and sort of stop here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pen tool, and it works just like anything else. Click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, and we'll just end it there. Okay, click off, and you should see that we've got a shape layer with this. Okay, and if you open this up, you should see that here is the path. Okay, there it is. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go copy. So I've copied that path. Then I'm going to go to the dragonfly layer, and I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to find the position, select position, and then just go file, edit, paste. And what you can see is it's now on there, and at the moment it's just static. So the next thing you'll see is just along here, it will start to move. So here it comes. Okay, now obviously this is not really what we want, so we want to move this perhaps to here. And don't forget that you can always just pull these individual keyframes around. Okay, so let's just select that one, pull it to there, and it's these intermediate ones are going as well, so that's good. Now what you'll notice is it's not following the line, it's just sort of coming on down. So what we need to do is we just need to move it to it's about here, and well, to up there, and I'm just going to hit R for rotate, and I'm just going to rotate it round until it's along that line, so it's facing it. Okay, so it now does this, which is almost what we want, but what we're after next is we need this to be actually to follow it. So make sure you've got that, and it's under Layer, Transform, and it's Auto Orient, this one. Okay, we want to orient along the path, say OK, and now we've obviously it's orienting, it's following, it's turning, but it's facing the wrong way, and it's because we had it facing the wrong way at the start. So just again, just get the rotation value and just rotate it round until it's right. Now, I've just shown you two little techniques, and I think that with these you're going to be able to do some very, very simple animation, and I would go for, you know, just a couple of 20 seconds, 30 seconds, you know, 5-10 seconds of each of these, because don't forget that you can then you can have the whole thing you could have zoomed in on. So once you've got this, you could let me just think. So if we just got all of that, sorry, if we went to the Adina illustration, which is this one here, which is this, okay, and then we just put that whole thing into a new layer. Now we've got just this. We've still got all of the animation going, okay, but now what we can do is we can zoom in and out on this. So you can go scale, and you could zoom in. So we could start it up here. Now obviously at the moment, don't forget, we've got this white line, and you might think, oh Mark, what about that white line? Well, all you do is you just go into here, you find the shape layer, and you just say, you know what, stroke none. So the stroke is still there, but now the line is gone. So if you go back to Adina illustration now, you've got it coming along, and now you've got it here like this. And let's just move it over a bit. So the start could look something like this. And then at about this point here, maybe what we could do is we could start zooming out. So just hit scale, and then just go to about sort of 5 seconds. And then maybe what you do is you go back to 100%. And let's just have a look. Let's just zoom out a bit. Now you can see I've done a bit of an error there. You can see it's just in the wrong place. Okay, so let's just hit P for position, and let's just move it back to sort of there. So now what we've got is we've got this, and then by the time it's finished the scale, all you want, which is just here, look, we actually want it back up here, so you might need to do a little bit of adjustment on that. That was just my mistake, but you see the principle. Okay, and then there's a little bit of movement here, and do you know what, you could also then go into this one here and get the dragonfly, and you could get a second dragonfly, and you could bring that one in. Okay, you can get it from here, either duplicate that, or you can just drag it in from here. I don't know which one it is. It's this one. So just drag that one in. We'll put that one there, and now you've got two of them. So you could have two of them coming in, and all that stuff with the puppet tool that I showed you, or the rotation. Red flower. Here we go. Let's just go to the start, and let's just make it wobble a little bit. So let's go puppet. Let's put a pin there, not too many. You don't want too many pins. I just put that number. Whoops, one more there. Okay, and now what it's done is it's put the keyframes in. Okay, so let's just go to this, and let's just move everything around a little bit. And let's just move it along a little bit and just move it. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll just open these up, and remember that we don't have that the fewer pins we have, the fewer keyframes we've got to deal with. But I'm pretty certain that what we can do is we can just go select all of those and just go copy, and paste, and paste, and paste, and paste, and paste, and paste. Okay, and you can move all of these around a little bit more if you want. But now you've got that, you can come off, and let's just go up to here. Obviously that's a little bit too, well, is it a bit too much? I don't know if it is. But here we go, we've got your beautiful animation, your beautiful illustrations animated. There's only two techniques there. There was the puppet pin, and there was animating along a path. A bit of rotation, 10 minutes, you've done it. You obviously need to go through that first bit to bring it in, but apart from that, I think this looks great. Your illustrations here look fantastic. Just do that. Just do that. Add a little bit of text, and if you want to, just add something else in at the end. But this, what you've got here, is so visually sophisticated. It's rooted in that 50s Charlie Harper. Let me just let's see if I can find Charlie Harper for you. Charlie Harper. Right, so this is Charlie Harper. Look at this stuff, right? This is absolutely fits in perfectly with this. If you didn't know Charlie Harper before, well, I think you must have looked at them. But this, you're talking about animating a classic. So just do it. Just do it. And I think that's a great showreel. You don't need anything else. Don't forget that people are going to see your website. They're going to see that you can do all this other stuff as well. But the showreel is like, bang, wow, how can you get people excited? I don't think that's too much work. I'm sorry to give you more at this late stage, but I think that will do you so much better than the illustrations that were in the showreel that you gave earlier. I did like the black and white. I think that was good, but I don't think it's going to work here because everything's too tonal. But save that for later. But illustration-wise, this is much better than the stuff that was in there. Hope that helps. Any problems, get back to me. Sorry to give you more to do. Bye.